समझ नहीं आ रहा अपने सैलरी इंक्रीमेंट का क्या करूं।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स के एसआईपी का टॉप अप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
क्या? समझ में नहीं आया।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स का एसआईपी टॉप अप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
अब समझा।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
In our country, it's challenging to keep track of news because news breaks very fast, very rapidly, in a manner that doesn't let you catch your breath. It also can break out in very distant parts of the country. Last couple of days, we've been talking about Assam. In fact, we took you to the easternmost settlement in the country, the little town of Vijayanagar, right? Easternmost, see it on the map. Now, we've moved to the westernmost, or in this case, northwesternmost, namely Punjab. What's happened in Punjab? In Punjab government has moved a bill in the assembly. It's not passed yet. It's a bill. It's not been voted on. Somewhat unusually, it has been sent to a select committee. That is not something that happens often in the Punjab assembly, or in fact, most state assemblies, these committees don't function very well. But this bill is a controversial one. It's been sent to a select committee. What is the bill called? Once I tell you the name, you will get a fair idea. It's called Punjab Prevention of Offences Against Holy Scriptures Bill of 2025. Effectively, it's Punjab's anti-blasphemy law or anti-sacrilege law. Now, India does not have an anti-blasphemy law in the strictest definition. However, India has had IPC, which has now been replaced by BNS, Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita. IPC had that law called 295, IPC section 295, which had its subsection this, which also covered offences which amounted to sacrilege or blasphemy. However, there the punishment was 2 years, and max, if it was a deliberate offence with the intention of causing trouble, was 3 years. And that 295, we also know, became part of the folklore. That was also the famous hit song that Sidhu Moosewala sang, Sach Milenga Te Milu 295, right? If you speak the truth, you will be hit by 295. I will tell you the full line as we go ahead, because right now, let me first explain what this law is. This law basically says that while the earlier section 295 covered the crimes or alleged crimes of blasphemy / sacrilege, the punishment was too little, 2 years. Then came Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, BNS sections 298, 299 and 300. These enhanced that punishment, also made the laws a bit tougher, but this is not something that Punjab is happy with. Punjab, which has had the highest number of sacrilege cases in the country, I will give you the data as we go along. Punjab Assembly thought, and all of the Punjab politics, in fact, this cuts across the entire political spectrum in Punjab. Everybody wants a tougher and tougher law against blasphemy, sacrilege. You can choose whichever do you prefer. I will go on saying sacrilege from here on. This law for damage to any of the holy scriptures, not just the Holy Guru Granth Sahib, but Holy Guru Granth Sahib, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Holy Quran, the Holy Bible, any damage to any of these holy scriptures can get the convict a sentence that goes up to life imprisonment. Minimum is 10 years and maximum is life imprisonment. There are also fines, but those are not really that important. Even for abetment of these offences, minimum sentence is 3 years. So this is a very tough law. Now, this is not the first time a government in Punjab has tried to do this. Since 2015, there have been 3 such attempts in Punjab. And interestingly, these attempts have come from governments of 3 different parties or combinations. The first one was brought in by the Akali Dal-BJP government in 2016 by way of amendments to Section 295 of IPC by adding one subsection there. And that then talked about a higher sentence for the sacrilege of the holy Shri Guru Granth Sahib. That the center sent back, one saying it did not pass the test of secularism, and second, it said the punishment was excessive. Then the Congress government of Captain Amrinder Singh tried the same thing, a similar amendment to IPC in 2018. This said that all religions, holy books of all religions will be covered by under this law, and once again the punishment was the same, going up to life sentence. Now once again the center sat on it, did not respond, and in the course of time this lapsed, because in the course of time the IPC itself, Indian Penal Code itself, lapsed, and the new set of laws, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, came in, and it was presumed, or it was believed that more than adequately covered the sacrilege issue. However, for Punjab, this wasn't going to work. Now, what is the complexity in Punjab? The complexity with Sikh religion, which makes sacrilege such a hot button issue in Punjab, is as follows. In the Sikh tradition, the Holy Guru Granth Sahib is not a holy book or a scripture. It's a living being. It's a living Guru, because the 10th Sikh Guru, Guru Gobind Singh, ordered his followers, sab Sikhan ko hukam hai, Guru Maniyo Granth. That, I was ordered by the Almighty. That's how I started the Panth. I started the faith. Agya hui Akal ki, tabi chalayo Panth. Sab Sikhan ko hukam hai, Guru Maniyo Granth. That from here on, after me, the Guru Granth Sahib, the Holy Guru Granth Sahib, will be your Guru. So that has the juristic status of a living being. Now, what is a juristic being? People like you and I are living beings, natural beings. We are natural beings. But there are also juristic beings, beings created by the law. So the Holy Guru Granth Sahib is a juristic being. So if anybody causes damage to it, insults it, tears it, throws pages away, treats it rudely, it is like a human being, in this case a living Guru of the Sikhs, being treated that way. That's why it becomes such a sensitive issue in Punjab, and that's the reason we've seen in Punjab a spate of these incidents, starting with 2015 in the district of Faridkot. We'll talk more about it very soon. Chitleen Sethi, who's my colleague in Chandigarh and who knows much more about these issues, also in a granular manner, she will join us, and I will ask her some questions and she'll explain some of these to you. 2015 is when some followers of Dera Sacha Sauda, that is the sect led by Baba Gurmeet Ram Rahim Insan, long name. There was a belief among many Sikhs, devout Sikhs, that he was pretending to be a guru as well. He was also claiming some sort of divinity. That curb he got off very soon, and he added Insan to his name to say that I am a human being. However, if you ask his followers, they don't quite believe that, and he's not tried to do very much to dissuade them. They believe that he is some kind of a divine being, even though he's a convict, supposedly spending time in jail. I said supposedly because it looks like he spends more time out on parole than in jail, because any time an election is taking place anywhere in this extended region, Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, sometimes even when municipal elections are going on or panchayat elections are going on, it looks like by some sort of divine intervention, he gets parole and comes out. Now, his followers were blamed for carrying out that act of sacrilege. In that act of alleged sacrilege, a copy of the Holy Guru Granth Sahib was stolen. These copies are called beads. B-I-R you might spell in English, but beads with a hard ra, beads. So these pages were found, in fact, several months later. These pages are body parts, because as I told you, the Holy Guru Granth Sahib is a juristic being. It is not just a book. So these pages wouldn't just be pages, they would be akin to body parts or ang. Torn pages were found strewn in the fields, and if you hear all the rumors and stories, some also floating in a canal. So this was seen as a deliberate effort. In that case, people were arrested for sacrilege. One of them, in fact, in jail. One of them was assassinated in jail. by 2 murder convicts in the jail. And the rest have been living under protection or have been in jail. If they come out on bail, their lives are in danger. And that started the spiral. The outcome of this spiral is, the upshot of the spiral is that Punjab at this point has 7 times as many cases of sacrilege, criminal sacrilege registered as the All India average. So All India average is 0.1%. That is according to the 2022 NCRB National Crime Records Bureau data. All India percentage is 0.1. That means of every 1,000 criminal cases registered all over India, just one will be pertaining to sacrilege. Whereas in the case of Punjab, it's 0.7%, which means 7 cases. That's the reason I said cases of sacrilege registered in Punjab are 7 times the national average. In fact, the next state in these numbers, and I'd like our reporters to check out in the course of time what's happening in the tiny state of Goa. The next state with the highest percentage of sacrilege cases in India is the small state of Goa with a small population. That's sometimes 0.4, 0.5. In fact, in 1 year, it was even higher than Punjab. Nevertheless, Punjab it is, where it is such a big political issue. It's a sensitive political issue. It has led to violence, many incidents of lynching of the accused on the spot at the Gurdwara itself, right? In some cases, it looked like somebody had come to steal food at Gurdwara. In some cases, looked like it was a person who was mentally unstable. Now, increasingly, public opinion, Sikh public opinion, does not accept the idea that the person who came into the Gurdwara and did sort of odd things was mentally unstable. They say it's an excuse because if only mental instability was causing it, why is it not happening in temples or mosques? Why is it happening only in the Gurdwara? So in many cases, the devotees get together or a mob gets together and it becomes a vigilante and they give out instant quote-unquote justice. Beatings, in some cases, killings also. In one case, and Chitleen will tell you more details as we go along, in one case a woman was caught like that. She was caught apparently under the influence of alcohol or maybe drinking alcohol. She was beaten up. As she was being handed over to the police, she was shot by one of the people present there. In fact, the person fired 5 bullets into her. It was later said by her family that she was an alcohol addict. She was divorcee, an alcohol addict, and she was being treated at a de-addiction center, at a local de-addiction center. However, the basic story is that this has been the cause of big anger, polarization. Every political party has said they will do something about this. The public opinion on the conservative side, on the Sikh conservative side, believes that no party has tried to do anything about it, partly because every party wants votes from the Deras, the followers of the Deras, because they command a lot of votes, particularly of the middle castes and lower castes. So the conspiracy theory, therefore, has built up. And what is this conspiracy theory? That all our politicians, including the Akali Dal politicians, are in cahoots with these groups and they are looking the other way while sacrilege is carried out at Sikh holy places. Now, we have to also understand a little bit more of the Sikh religious politics. You will find that in many of these cases, the killers or the alleged killers of this alleged blasphemers or those held guilty instantly of sacrilege, they are honored by the Shiromani Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee. In Delhi, for example, on the outskirts of Delhi at Singhu border, a Dalit person, Lakhbir Singh, the Dalit who was killed with his arms cut, legs broken, his body impaled on the barricade, right? The 3 Nihangs who allegedly killed him, they were instantly honored with Saropas. Saropa is a robe of honor by fellow Nihangs, even as they were being taken away by the police. In many other cases, SGPC has honored these people and has also said that they will pay for their legal defense. This is going on. The deeper politics there is that SGPC controls the key gurdwaras, all gurdwaras in Punjab and many key gurdwaras elsewhere also. SGPC is supposedly run by an elected body. In that elected body, only baptized Sikhs can contest. And Sikhs who follow certain tenets of the faith only they can vote. According to the SGP Act of 1925, original act, it's been amended subsequently, elections have to take place every 5 years. The last SGPC election was 2011. For 14 years since then, they've not been able to hold a fresh election, although elections have to take place every 5 years. We had done a full episode of Cut The Clutter on that. Also, in the struggles that SGPC is now having, revising its electoral rolls, because the number of electors have been following, particularly given the stringent conditions that a voter must fulfill. Stringent conditions in terms of adherence to the basic tenets of Sikhism. SGPC earlier was more or less controlled by the Shiromani Akali Dal. So Shiromani Akali Dal used the SGPC and SGPC's priests, the head priest of the Akal Takht, the SGPC chief, etc., or the Singh Sahiban as they are called, to have their own politics run in some ways. Now, because the Akali Dal has got so weakened, they have now become a distant third party in Punjab, a very distant third party after Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress Party. Akali Dal has lost out. They have limited control, in fact, very little control over the SGPC. At the same time, Sikh politics seems to be lost and Sikh vote seems to be lost. It seems to be divided. It is divided, not seems to be. It is divided and seems to be lost because Aam Aadmi Party has a lot of it. Congress Party has quite a bit of it. Akali Dal still retains a fair bit of it. And then the BJP comes in as a separate party. So the Hindu votes get divided a bit. Thereby, the Sikhs in Punjab feel that they have lost political power because enough people have voted for Aam Aadmi Party, but it is not a Sikh party. The Sikh party, the only Sikh party, the Akali Dal, right now is nearly dead in the water. So that is the complexity from which a lot of this anger and frustration also rises. Now, I will conclude here and I will bring in our colleague Chitleen Sethi from Chandigarh at this point. Chitleen, it's been some time since we've had you on Cut The Clutter, but you are needed today because this is a very complex matter, very sensitive matter also, as all matters to deal with religion are. In this case, it's also religion, politics, and religious politics. Tell me, first of all, why has the Aam Aadmi Party government seen the need to bring in this law? Because the previous two amendments to the law did not pass. To me, it doesn't seem likely that such a law will finally get clearance from the center, from the president's assent. But why has Aam Aadmi Party done it? What are they trying to achieve?
So the issue of sacrilege is it has become a very important political issue in Punjab for the past 10 years. So apart from the fact that, of course, it's a very emotive religious issue as well. In fact, for the 2 days, I've been covering Punjab Assembly now for 25, 26 years. And in the past 2 days, the speaker, before the beginning, when the bill was introduced on Tuesday, got up to say a special prayer, almost like a small ardas, which we do in Gurdwaras, before the beginning of the session, asking the Almighty for help and correct thinking, samat, to be able to do the correct thing in the assembly. So never has an ardas like that happened in the assembly. Or this happened on Tuesday. Then some people said that nobody's head was covered and people were wearing shoes, and how could he have done ardas? So when questions were raised, the next
Ardas is the Sikh prayer.
Sikh prayer, yes. And sir, agle din, on Wednesday, he did a more elaborate ardas, and in which he asked everybody to cover their heads and remove their shoes. So the significance is quite evident from the manner in which they have tried to bring this act. The difference between the two other earlier attempts and this is that this is a full-fledged act, while they were amendments to the already sections of the IPC. Like at that time we had the IPC, it was 295A, so 295A and 295. So a new section was to be added, 295AA. In which was dealing solely with the Guru Granth Sahib.
So a distinction was made between the Guru Granth Sahib and other scriptures in Amrinder Singh's bill.
No, in the Akali bill, Akali BJP bill. When, in fact, but when the center said that this is not secular, so then when Amrinder came to power in 295AA, they added all the other scriptures as well. So even yesterday, because the bill is titled Protection of the Scriptures, so yesterday even the opposition was saying ki there should be some kind of a differentiation made between Guru Granth Sahib and the other scriptures, because what you have rightly explained, Guru Granth Sahib is considered to be a living Guru by the Sikhs, and
So
it cannot be equated to a
it can't
scripture
be put in the same category as other scriptures. It's not.
as others. So
Yes.
So that was also one of the main objections which was raised by the opposition yesterday. And though the government had already made up its mind to send it to the select committee, since so many varied responses were coming in the assembly yesterday, so they thought it's better that all the stakeholders are taken on board. And like Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann put it, that let us take the bill to the 3.5 crore Punjabis and ask them what they have to say on the matter.
Yeah.
So that is where it stands. But coming back to the question, why it is so significant? Because Punjab's politics has revolved around sacrilege for the past 10 years. And that is how the BJP Akali government went out of power. Congress came into power, and then even when Congress went out of power, for the Aam Aadmi Party, it was a central election issue.
Sacrilege.
Because 2015, the incidents that you have referred to, 2015, there was this series of sacrilege incidents that happened starting from June. So it's been exactly 10 years. But these issues have remained so alive in public memory that it almost seems like yesterday that they happened, because every politician since then has been talking about sacrilege. There was a theft of the Guru Granth Sahib from a small gurdwara in Faridkot. And after a few months, it was the pages of that Guru Granth Sahib were found strewn all over the place, and protesters started a dharna there, a sit-in dharna there. They brought in all the ang of the Guru Granth Sahib and kept them there, but the angs were later taken away, and they were taken and put respectfully in a gurdwara, because they were so-called case property. A lot of FIRs were registered also. And following that, the investigation did not lead to anything. So the Akali government, they sent the entire investigation to the CBI. So once the whole matter went to CBI, the Shiromani Akali Dal thought that in order to assuage the sentiments of the people, because people were all on the streets protesting against the fact that nobody had been arrested for the sacrilege. And the two or three SITs had already been formed, and they had come up with nothing virtually. So then the Akali Dal and the BJP government at that time, they brought up this act, in order to assuage the people, because investigation already had shifted away from Punjab. This was 2016 budget session. They thought that the people will be happy over this, but by the time the damage had already been done, Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress, made this the central point of their election campaign.
Yeah. Now, many people were arrested. There are people, and some trials were going on, and some were assassinated after their arrest.
So yes, in fact, nobody was arrested, while the Akalis were in power. Later, the Amrinder government also shifted back the cases from CBI to Punjab, because the CBI was not doing much on the cases. So the person who was arrested was Mohinder Pal Singh Bittu. So he was the main accused in the case, and he was sent to jail, and in fact, he was killed in the jail. And this was in June 2019. Then a father of one of the accused, who was outside, was also killed. This was in November 2020. Then in November 2022, Pradeep Kumar, who was also accused in the case, he had police protection. He was also killed, and this time he was killed by this Goldie Brad group. This gang.
They claimed responsibility.
They claimed responsibility for killing him. So even those who are accused in the cases have been killed. So one father of an accused and two others have been killed. And in another unrelated sacrilege case, again committed by one of the so-called by Dera Sacha Sauda follower, has also been killed the same year, 2022.
Yes, and then you had this case where the man in the Golden Temple who was accused of indulging in.
After Lakhbir Singh's killing in the Singhu border, which you talked about. So we had this in 2021. There was this man who's still not been identified. So he entered the Golden Temple, and jumped across the railing in the Sanctum Sanctorum and tried to reach the Guru Granth Sahib, but he was immediately caught, taken to a room where a mob entered that room and killed him. So a case was
he's not been identified, and
he's not been identified.
nobody has been arrested for killing him as well.
No. So
And-
families who even come to know about the person having been killed are very wary of coming out in the open because they feel that some kind of damage will come to them as well.
Yes. So it is in that situation now that this bill has come in. So you think this bill will calm things down, or do you think this bill will again stir up emotions?
Sir, it depends because the SGPC has been justifying these killings. The SGPC has been saying that since the governments have failed to give justice in the Beadbi cases or the sacrilege cases, so people are justified in taking law into their own hands and do these things. Apart from the fact that they actively go and give siropas to these to the killers. Apart from giving them legal aid, they have been overall justifying these killings. So that has led to a very strange kind of encouragement, which people, non-state factors have come in, who are, becoming the moral and so-called religious keepers of Punjab society. So it's and the police, though the police has started registering cases and taking these cases seriously. When there is a mob attacking somebody, generally nobody is arrested. But when a person has been identified, cases of murder have been registered and investigation is carried out. So in that little way, things have been taken to their logical conclusion. But there is a general perception that if you were to commit a crime like that, you will be honored and it will be seen as something good that you have done. So I think that bit is tricky. How much of this bill is able to make people feel that they don't have to take the law in their own hands is something which we'll have to see.
Actually, 295 is a law that we inherited from the British IPC, and it's common to India and Pakistan. So Ziaul Haq in 1982, when he was Islamizing Pakistan, he had added section 295C, which said that any insult or affront to Prophet Muhammad or any of the prophets of Islam would get a mandatory death sentence. And we keep hearing of those cases every now and then out of Pakistan. 295, therefore, in some ways, while sacrilege / blasphemy is one part of it, there's been much debate on 295, and it's something that popular culture also picked up in Punjab, and that's the reason I had mentioned earlier Sidhu Moosewala. So, Chitleen, tell me if I am wrong, but I'll try and remember his first 4 lines. Nit controversy create milugi. Every day new controversy will be created. Dharma de naam te debate milugi. Debates and arguments will take place in the name of religion. Sach bolenga te milu 295. That if you speak the truth, you'll be hit by section 295. Right? Karenga tarakkiyan te hate milugi. And if you do well in life, in any case, you will draw hate and jealousy from everybody. So maybe popular culture also picked up a little bit of it. And ultimately, because that popular culture also went into gun culture and glorification of violence, unfortunately, that consumed the life of Sidhu Moosewala as well. So Punjab's going through a difficult phase for multiple reasons now. In the middle of this, we also have these gangs thrown in, which mostly operate from overseas. That makes the situation in Punjab that much more sensitive. It's a very short law. It is just 1 page, basically half a page, another half page, and this 1 para of explanation by the Chief Minister as to why this law is needed. So this law is not very much, but this is something which in some ways will reopen the issue of sacrilege. So once again, we watch politics, we watch popular mood, we watch religion, and we watch a very sensitive state very closely. So thank you, Chitleen, for helping make the sense of it.
Thank you.